Good morning, Clive Enever, business strategist here. Let's get ourselves motivated for another week. And of course, motivation is something that I'm reading quite a lot about out on social media, and I'm hearing quite a lot about from a lot of people that I speak with. And through the years as business strategist, I've been fortunate enough to work with a tremendous number of people in a wide variety of industries, some totally unrelated to the other than that they are businesses. So I've seen lots of people struggle with this thing called motivation, and I wonder if that's because we've made the decision to do something because it looked like it might be a good thing to do, rather than we're doing something because we're inspired to do it. Now, I hold the view that we've taken the view that inspired is something that happens to us and disappears. We hear something and we're inspired to get up and do something, and it lasts a few seconds or a few minutes or a couple of days perhaps, and then it disappears. If we're doing something that really inspires us, what I think we do is we're doing something that is relatively easy to us, comes easy. It's not something that we have to work at. Whereas if we have to work at it, we think we have to be motivated and we've got to go and find this external motivation. Now, I'd invite you to have a look at what you're doing, because if we have to find external motivation, does that mean that we're not aligned with what it is that we're doing? Does it mean that our relationship with what we're doing is not right? Does it mean it doesn't apply to our goals? It doesn't apply to our values? So I'd encourage you to have a really good look at that if you find it difficult to be motivated to go and do whatever it is that you do. So how do you figure out what it is that you want to do? I think you ask yourself two questions. The first one is, what do I really want to do? And if the answer comes back that it's not what you're doing now, ask yourself the second question, which is, what do I really want to do? And have a good think about that, because when you find that thing that you really want to do, you might find that you're inspired to do it. Now, if you're inspired to do something, what does that mean about, will it become more easy? Generally speaking, if you're inspired to do something, you will have a degree of clarity around that. Now, what does clarity mean? You'll also find, of course, that if there are things about which you're not entirely clear, that if you're inspired to do them, finding clarity will be much easier. So I like to look at clarity and relate it to a lot of things, but in particular, the things I call the 6 Ps, and that is your presence in your marketplace. Now, if you're inspired to do something, chances are you're going to find it much easier to hold your presence, to present yourself. Presentation of you and your business is extraordinarily important. So if you're inspired to do something, you'll find it much easier to make that presentation in a way that encourages people to do business with you. It'll also mean that you're more able to identify your personal space, because if we're spending far too long doing our work or trying to fix those things we weren't motivated to do earlier, chances are you've found yourself a little bit lost, your personal space is disappearing, and you don't know how to get it back. Ideally, let's not lose it in the first place. Understand what it is and keep control of it. Your personal space is yours. Don't let anybody take it away from you. It'll also make it easier for you to identify processes and procedures. That means, of course, that things will happen in a much more clearly defined way, and it makes it easier then to get your work done on time. It'll also mean that your pricing won't be an issue. You'll identify your pricing accurately, and you'll do it quickly. And by getting that right, it'll mean your profitability won't be an issue. So they use 6 Ps: presence in the marketplace, presentation of you and your business, your personal space, process and procedure, your pricing, and your profitability. If you're inspired to do something, you'll probably have clarity around those. Once you have clarity around those, you'll find that you're not going to work, that you're actually doing something that you enjoy. And in doing something that you enjoy, you don't need external motivation because it's all happening where it should be, inside you. So there's a start for the week. Off you go. Have a good week. There's also, for those who are interested in finding more about that, there's a link in beside this post, and follow that. You'll find lots more about running your business more easily. Have a great week.